Welcome to the information session for Round 2 of the Department of Employment, Small Business and Training's Workforce Connect Fund. In the spirit of reconciliation, the Department of Employment, Small Business and Training recognises the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respects to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. This presentation will be over 2 stages. First, we'll be looking at the Queensland Workforce Strategy and how the Workforce Connect Fund fits within the wider context of this strategy. We will then look at the Workforce Connect Fund Round 2, including the new 2-stage application process and key dates. The Good People, Good Jobs Queensland Workforce Strategy 2022 to 2032 is connecting Queenslanders with the work they want, supporting employers to develop inclusive work practices, and growing a stronger and more diverse workforce. Supporting the strategy is the first 3-year action plan. The action plan is strengthening partnerships between industry, community and government to deliver 33 actions across 5 key focus areas. These actions are delivered in partnership with industries, regions and communities, supporting industry-led, community-centred and government-enabled projects. The Workforce Connect Fund is a key action under the strategy and aims to increase investment in industry and community-led projects that address attraction, retention and participation issues within the workforce. The 5 focus areas under the strategy include workforce participation, local solutions, school-to-work transitions, workforce attraction and retention, and skilling Queenslanders now and into the future. These focus areas may serve as a good reference point for your applications for the Workforce Connect Fund. Last year, the Reimagining Workforce event was held, bringing together a range of stakeholders to look at how we could do things differently to meet workforce demands. The QR code on the slide below is where you can download a copy of the post-event summary. Other resources which may also be of interest include the Workforce Collaboration Hub on LinkedIn, and there's also a code of an invitation to share your stories of workforce innovation. These resources may also assist you in formulating some of your ideas to support your application. We will now move on to looking at the Workforce Connect Fund in more detail. The Workforce Connect Fund was launched in August 2022 and is the flagship program of the Queensland Workforce Strategy. It is now a $25 million initiative made up of 2 components. There's $23 million available to fund large-scale projects and $2 million available to deliver the HR support for small business. For large-scale projects, we've so far funded 16 projects worth $12.5 million under the first funding round held in late 2022, with these projects expected to improve workforce outcomes for over 4,000 employers, almost 14,000 existing employees, and over 6,000 new job seekers. For the HR support grants component, over 300 small businesses have so far been approved to access these grants. This presentation will be focusing on the large-scale projects. During and alongside Queensland's strong economic recovery, significant workforce shortages emerged throughout Queensland for both skilled and unskilled occupations. A key theme of the Queensland Workforce Strategy is government, industry and community working together to reimagine the workforce to ensure all Queenslanders can seize the enormous job opportunities available now and into the future. The Workforce Connect Fund invests in industry and community-led projects that aim to drive systemic, industry-wide change to enhance working outcomes for employers, employees and job seekers. industry and community peak organisations are eligible to apply for up to $1 million to deliver a project that seeks to develop and implement new strategies, services or mechanisms that address their specific workforce challenges, both now and into the future. Industry and community peak organisations must connect and partner with each other, other organisations, employers and key stakeholders to deliver one of these projects to ensure they are maximising outcomes for all Queenslanders. Not all project applications have to be at the higher end of the funding scale. Projects that require smaller budgets will be considered. For example, if you only need $200,000 for your project, then we would still encourage you to apply. Workforce planning at the sector level is critical and must be underpinned by industry leadership, as it is industry who is responsible for job creation, employing people, and shaping the future state of the workforce. Similarly, communities play a vital role in this landscape by supporting employers to tap into workers they have not traditionally accessed, as well as support Queenslanders to work in jobs they never thought available to them. For the purposes of the Workforce Connect Fund, industry peaks that represent entire sectors and community peaks that represent and advocate for particular disadvantaged groups at the state or national level are considered eligible to apply. Strong partnerships between industry and community is the key to improving workforce outcomes for employers, employees and job seekers. Only through partnerships can systemic issues be addressed and long-lasting change embedded in workforces. As previously mentioned, industry and community peaks must connect and partner with each other, other organisations, employers and key stakeholders to deliver innovative and flexible solutions to address these workforce needs. Collaboration and partnership with a diverse range of stakeholders at both the local and industry level, with all parties providing input into the necessary adjustments or transformations required to embed lasting change, is key. Systemic change could be seen as implementing transformational changes to workplaces to shift mindsets or stigmas within an industry, implementing structural changes to workforce infrastructure or systems to change the way an industry operates, attracting, skilling up or training non-traditional cohorts to work within a specific industry. For projects looking to support specific target groups, such as First Nations people or people with disability, the department would be specifically looking for a genuine co-design model, or at the very least, input from stakeholders or partner organisations who specialise in working and engaging with these target groups. Projects funded under the first funding round to date include projects addressing stigmas and shifting mindsets surrounding people with disability, and more broadly diversifying workforces, including the development and delivery of wellbeing frameworks for vulnerable and disadvantaged workers. We've also funded online platforms designed to match job seekers with work experience or employment opportunities, the deployment of one-on-one support and training modules for employers to change employment practices, holistic mentoring services for apprentices, early career screening to facilitate attracting and retaining school leavers, and research-based workforce advice and data initiatives to support practical interventions to increase retention, diversity and inclusion. We'll now move on to looking at the upcoming funding round in more detail. The following information is for new projects. Expressions of interest are being accepted online through a new two-stage process. Through the first stage, applicants must submit an expression of interest detailing their project concept. Applicants must also demonstrate their eligibility and capacity to manage a project of this nature under this stage also. Only applicants that submit an expression of interest will be able to progress to Stage 2, which provides the opportunity for applicants to address the assessment criteria, which is outlined in the guidelines for funding, and attach the necessary evidence requirements to support their proposals. Of importance to note also, applicants are now able to propose to deliver a project over a 24-month period, which is an increase of 12 months from the previous funding round. For existing projects funded under the first round, existing providers will not be required to apply for funding under the funding round to continue a project, but rather request an official variation to their existing contracts if they wish to continue delivery. Approval of variations will be at the discretion of the department and will take into consideration a range of factors, including budget availability, adherence to reporting requirements, performance against all specified key performance indicators, and ongoing alignment to the intent and objectives of the Workforce Connect Fund. As with projects from the first round, the following standard KPIs will be applied to all projects that progress for approval. At the completion of the project, a measurable increase in retention and/or participation rates, depending on the project's target assist, is expected to be reported across the funded organisation's employer network. At least 95% of employer, employee and job seeker project targets must be achieved. Where funded organisations have a member base, a minimum of 10% of employers supported are non-member employers, including small businesses within the industry. And for the target number of job seekers assisted, a minimum of 55% must be successfully employed at the completion of the project. Applicants may also self-nominate targets as applicable to their individual projects, which will be in addition to the standard KPIs. These targets should be meaningful, achievable, and inclusive. Under Round 2, we are also specifically asking for a breakdown in targets for regional Queensland and South East Queensland. It is also important to keep in mind that there is an expectation that organisations that apply for the maximum funding amount will have significantly higher targets than an organisation that applies for less funding. Industry workforce advisors have been established under the Queensland Workforce Strategy to provide tailored assistance to small to medium-sized employers by developing workforce plans to address gaps in their workforces. Industry workforce advisors are a key connection for funded organisations under the Workforce Connect Fund and smaller non-member employers. In addition to connecting with other relevant organisations to deliver projects, funded organisations must connect with industry workforce advisors when rolling out project deliverables to ensure the reach is beyond its membership bases. You can find more information on industry workforce advisors on the Business Queensland website. Expressions of interest can be lodged through the online Smarty Grants platform. At the expression of interest stage, applicants are asked to submit their project proposals, including their response to the capacity to manage criterion and evidence of eligibility. Following assessment of all expressions of interest, successful applicants will be invited to complete a full application, which will be assessed against the evidence requirements. We encourage you to visit the Workforce Connect Fund webpage, where you will find a range of resources, including the guidelines for funding and a sample application form. Some key dates to keep in mind. Expressions of interest opened on the 13th of February 2024 and will close at 5 p.m. on the 26th of March 2024. Expressions of interest will be assessed through March and April, and applicants will be notified if they have been invited to complete a full application or if their application will not be moving forward. Applicants will have a further 5 weeks to complete and submit their full application. A further assessment process will commence for full applications, with the process anticipated to be finalised and project delivery commencing from September 2024 onwards. This brings the presentation to a close. Please visit the Workforce Connect Fund website to access the guidelines for funding and the sample application form, and find a range of other supporting materials. We will also have some video case studies on some of the projects funded through Round 1 of the Workforce Connect Fund. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. Our details are on the following slide. Thank you so much for your time.